Let's make CAMIA's Bible, baby.
So you want to make a Bible?
I want to make a Bible. The plan is we're going to brain dump everything. So me and my dad are going to brain dump everything that we think should be in like a brand Bible. So guidelines, you know, fonts that, like special fonts that we use, and, you know, rather than having, oh, I use this font for this post, this font for this post, we want congruency on the account. Like all of these have a vibe. A brand Bible will allow us to have a CAMIA vibe, and yeah, like rails for us to follow essentially. So we're just going to brain dump everything that we think should be in it and probably organize it a little bit and think about more things as we see someone. Like he might say something and then I'll go, oh yeah, that, like, shouldn't we also have this? Normal brainstorm stuff. Anything else to add?
No.
Nah.
No.
Huh?
No.
You're the
So you want a spider diagram or do you want pages?
whatever you think.
In the old day, brand guidelines would be pages in a big folder, or there'd be loads of books. These days it's probably some sort of PDF or online.
So I'm thinking brand Bible, something that I can have in my drawer. Like just
So sheets.
sheets, but I'll probably, well, me or you will make it into a book.
Or a little book.
But, you know, essentials almost only. Essentials.
So I'm gonna draw this as hypothetical pages.
Hypothetical page. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this what you used to do? Fucking hell, mate. You finished this Pepsi Max. I was going to nick some of yours.
Each one of these could be a section. But we're, so we got the cover. Bible. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
And that's clearly CAMIA Bible.
A CAMIA.
So I probably, and we can add bits of copy at the side of this or whatever, I do these little drop shadow things, try and make it look a bit more 3D.
Well, I was going to say, what are those triangles?
Little drop shadows as if it's a piece of card upright.
Okay.
I do it in all my sketchbooks and clients like it. So Bible. So I reckon you start off, roughly speaking, with the mission statement.
So is that representing a page?
As I said, it could be a page or a section.
Okay.
Section. It's just sort of saying the things that I think are going to go in there.
Okay, got you.
So we could add other things or whatever. I think there's a mission statement. I do actually think that there's a set of values or buzzwords. Set of values, yeah.
I just realised Dad's planned this all out already in his mastermind book. That's genius.
So a set of values and buzzwords.
When you say buzzword, you kind of mean like those.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it'd be nice to have them in one place and see them. It could be a condensed version, like 12 or 6. Almost like what you used to have at Dulwich Village Infant School, where you had those values and you just refer to them. Set values and buzzwords. Some of these pages or sections could come out, but I also think what's really important, and lots of companies muck it up, USP. Unique selling point. So when I see you and I'll talk to you really quickly and I don't know you, you tell me in one sentence what your company is all about.
It's always been two things.
Two things.
It's always been two things.
So what are the two things?
So the first one is sportswear brand with real meaning. if I just had to say it in like, you know, however many words.
Sportswear.
Brand with real meaning.
Brand.
I mean, it basically, you know, brand with real meaning, a brand with real deep meaning that everybody can relate to and connect with.
Sportswear brand with real meaning. What's the second one?
Sportswear that you actually want to wear, that you're excited to wear. So
those two you've got to try and get into one thing because they're pretty similar. So say it again.
Well, it sounds similar because you're starting with sportswear, right? I could say clothing that you're excited to wear. That feels right, that fits right. Basically solving the issue that I had of when I opened up my wardrobe.
Clothing.
It felt like I had nothing to wear.
Excited to wear.
Yeah, not just something that's unemotional.
Cool. So then I think after we've got all this and people you're thinking and they're thinking, yeah, well, what is this? Then it's CAMIA and what it stands for. Champions are made in adversity.
How come that doesn't come as like page 1 or 2 before or after the mission statement?
It could, that's what I'm saying. We could flip these round.
Okay, got you.
I think I'm trying to get down all the things that I think could be in there, and then you could say this is 1,
okay.
This one's 2, this one's 3, that one's 4, that one's 5. So champions are made in adversity. So then you've got the logo, little dude pushing the CAMIA.
That's pretty good going now.
I'm quite impressed with that. Little TM.
That's pretty good going.
I think we're sort of forgetting the TM thing, but you've trademarked this.
Yeah.
So that makes it even more special. It's not just any old logo that someone's created without trademarking it. You've actually trademarked it. So I think where possible, we should actually make a big point of that.
Do you have the short version of the logo on that same page? So just see.
Either same page or I think, yeah, I mean, it depends how we do it. You could get 4 of these on one page if you wanted a quick thing that you looked at by your monitor. And then we could do a cool little book that, you know, has got them slightly more separated. But for now, I'll do it separately. And I can't remember exactly how he goes, but he's got some decent muscles on him. So that short form version. Then I think it's really important to look at colours. So your corporate colours. It could be a whole spectrum. It could be the blue, electric blue, because that was your first. And that's what the CAMIA's in. And then you could have a whole array of secondary colours. So blue's the principal colour. So if you had stickers and all the rest of it, it might be blue and then other colours after it or whatever. But your corporate colours, so you've actually got a reference. This is the main brand, blue and white. And then this is a range of colours that I like using.
How does that really work then? Because all the brands I can think of use every colour, you know, for different.
Yeah, well, so
like if I said to you, what's Nike's colour? Like,
yeah, I'd predominantly say black or white.
Like, same for Under Armour.
Yeah, black, white and grey, I'd say.
Adidas would be the same.
Yeah.
But then you also know Adidas of like,
But you started off with a colour.
Yeah.
And we didn't paint that CAMIA in multiple colours. We painted it in a colour that you liked. That could change and it could be quite flexible. So it could be as colourful as you like. But there's a mainstay of logos. In this section, you'll probably, or at the back, you'll probably have variables of that logo on a sheet, just in case a printer needs them. So you have a white-out logo or you have a black-on logo, and there'll be a point of which a light logo doesn't look good on a light material.
Yeah.
Unless you want them to look similar. But I think you've got a corporate colours section, however small or big that is. And if we decide you don't want it, then you don't have a colour section. But every guidelines that I've ever seen or brand Bible, Coca-Cola wouldn't show anything without saying it's all about red. Virgin Trains wouldn't actually launch a Bible without underpinning the red. Cadbury's wouldn't do it without purple. Ferrari wouldn't do it without red.
But do you think that's more about non-clothing stuff? Because obviously clothes come in all colours, but when you have something like Cadbury, well, you can make the packaging all purple or like Virgin. You can.
But I still think there's a section or a part for colours. There's got to be, because at the moment you've got 3 T-shirts, and they're not any old colours. They're black, white, and blue. Black and white sell really nicely, and blue's a colour you really like, electric blue. Then I think you've got this, section that talks about fonts. The issue we had in the old days was you'd have typeset fonts, but the problem you had was the Macintosh had a whole load of fonts, like 600. A PC had like 10. So if you're doing things on a PC, you would only get 10. And if you're doing things on a Mac, you'd have 600. The downside is a lot of people had PCs and they said, well, I can't get that font you've got. Now it's a lot broader. So when you're doing social media and all the rest of it, you can choose a few more fonts, but it doesn't always tell you what they are. Or it gives them another name so it doesn't have to pay the copyright. So Helvetica on one of your platforms might be called Sam Gibbs.
I know.
Because they don't want to call it.
Look exactly the same.
Yeah. And like Arial was a PC version of Helvetica, but they had to change some of the letters so they couldn't be sued. So I think you've got fonts, and I think you either decide that you have any font all the time, or you try and make it a bit more consistent so it looks like a couple of these. So whenever your words come up, they're in a sans serif or they're in a serif, but you've actually got serif versus sans serif, and then within sans serif, as in a font that's got no notches on it, you've then got millions of fonts. So for me, I think CAMIA is more about sans serif fonts. They're more contemporary, they've got no notches on them, and you get lots of different weights and everything. And from what you've been posting already, there's lots of sans serif stuff. So we've just got to decide what that range of fonts are, depending on whether or not you're working on a Mac or you're working on a PC. So you can actually give some Mac fonts, and you can actually give some PC fonts, and we can do a little bit of research in them to make sure that the two marry up pretty similarly. So it always looks like it's coming from the same song sheet.
Well, I suppose the website's got to tie into this as well then.
Oh God, yeah.
Currently on the website, I've got like 3 or 4 or 5 different fonts, depending on if it's like a heading or if it's subtext. So like it all makes sense on the website, but that's like almost in isolation.
Yeah, well, we look at the website and we might refine it a bit.
Colours as well.
Yeah.
Like it's got that cream or whatever, that cream colour for the base on the website.
So I think, your personality and character, your personality and character is starting to come from here, isn't it? So you've got
You're talking about brand personality.
yeah, so I think then for me you would start to say, okay, we've got these things going on, what does this actually look like? How does it manifest itself? And that would be the bit where you start to show samples. So you give examples of different things. So you might just show one of your Instagram posts and the format, one of the TikTok posts and the format of that, and trying to show how they all start to marry up or how it breaks down so that you're all always following the same style and it doesn't just look a mishmash. So for me, you know, in this sample section, you know, you might have a number of different pages. Just for the sake of it, you know, that is Instagram, you know, that's TikTok, Facebook.
So would this be all from CAMIA, or is this almost like inspiration vibes, or it's all
Oh no, this is CAMIA. Stickers,
clothing, or
stickers, clothing, bags, tags,
like packaging?
packaging. I sort of think there is a section that has samples in. Some might be fictitious. So when I've done a brand and the brand doesn't exist, I've taken the logo, I've introduced some colours, and then I've said, hypothetically speaking, I've come up with 3 routes. This one's quite contemporary. This is aspirational. This one's literal. And then they go, wow, we just want the aspiration. So it's all about movement. It's all about verbs rather than nouns, you know. And then you start to create a personality and a character. So I think, you know, the samples there is really important, some of which you've got and others will create. You know, what does the logo look like, blue on blue, and all that stuff that we looked at the other day or whatever. So I think there's a sample section. I don't know if there's sections that you were thinking of, but we have a number of items that already exist, and when we put them together, what do they look like? Do they look like they're working together? What's the the tone of voice? So I think with the samples, you've also got the tone of voice. So before we go too far, we're saying, what is this all about? Is it actually about never giving up? You know, everything we do is about never giving up. Even when you want to give up or you don't want to go out or whatever, the tone of voice is never giving up. This should start to manifest itself here. So by the time you get to the logo, this dude's never giving up. It's underpinned by the fact that champions are made in adversity, and adversity is you want to give up, but the brand doesn't stand for that. We're not giving up. You know, we're not even giving up when you had your operation on your leg, blah, 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 and you were down and out and you came back because you realised your brand stood for exactly the reason you felt shit, but we don't give up. And Isons don't give up. So that can fuck right off the idea of never giving up. So that tone of voice could sit up here somewhere, or it could come across in the samples, because the samples might say tone of voice and examples of how we show this. So when you did your video in Battersea Park and you're running along and it's all about the emotion. It's all about how you feel and then the details of it.
So how's tone of voice different to set of values and buzzwords?
I sort of see a set of values, underpinning the tone of voice, because those will be dictated by everything that's here and everything that you thought of and was on our branding board, really. All the different things that you did and or do or feel. So, we could end up sort of deleting that and that, but I think that and that are one in the same thing. They're just, tone of voice sounds a bit more personal. Set of values and buzzwords sounds very corporate.
Or are you thinking of set of values and buzzwords as more of a, like just static words? So
there's more like a brain dump of every type of word that you think they might be aspirational. You might have an aspirational column. You might have a literal column. You might have a set of nouns. I don't know, but I think if you see them quickly, it's just going to keep underpinning what you're thinking the tone of voice is, and that is going to help you with your USP and everything else. It's quite a lot to sort of take in, but these are just sort of sections that I think are potentially part of a Bible, but they could be amalgamated as well.
And tone of voice, you're probably thinking is more like dynamic examples of how it's shown. So
and the words that you use.
So values,
so you bring
like
together,
static,
and the visuals and the words together.
Yeah.
So when you're saying something, you're not just going, "Hi, I'm going to the post office," to post my first package. The emphasis is on excitement and first. Do you know what I mean? You make more out of the fact that it's your first, or you're really excited, because it's all about the passion. You have so much passion that this brand is all about passion, and that's the tone of voice. And it'll be one of these here. Passion's bound to be one of these. Now I've said it, I probably won't find it.
You're gonna have to add it. We're gonna have to add it.
Forward thinking. I can't see passion now. Jeez.
We're gonna have to add it.
So passion's there. Passion should be there.
We got everything apart from.
That's just.
Oh no, we do. We got passion up there.
Where?
Under courage. Underneath mid right. Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah.
I knew it'd be there. Passion. Jeez, I had heart failure then. So, are you thinking? Yeah, that was it. And I think this is probably before samples. So that's what I'm saying, that these are in no specific order. We'll put them down afterwards. So I think style of photography. Stroke content.
Yeah, I guess photography is more.
So that's why we've got all these. So you can either have a mood board, because we don't have much photography, or we can start to create stuff and add to this brand Bible if there's a digital version. So it can either be a mood board of images you like. So whenever you do it, you're saying this is the criteria. It's got to be on the move. It's got to be warm. It's got to be personal. They've got to be trying hard. Whatever. And as long as we've got 5 of those 3 in there, then it all comes down to that and that to convey. So you've then got visuals and words. So I think it's a style of photography, which is that. You might not be a brand that has any illustration in it.
What do you mean by that?
So a lot of brands, most of their stuff will be illustrative, because with illustrations you can get quite conceptual, whereas with a lot of photography it's real, but it's more literal. But you can get personality and character from an illustrator, and you can be a bit more unique, because when you look at some of these, you know, there's not that much difference between one and the other, but then you've picked out ones that you feel convey the emotions that you're trying to get across. So from that viewpoint, that's why they look similar, because you've tried to find brands that are conveying their brand the way you want to. Yeah, I haven't got too much in my little sketchbook. I do think that if there's an online version, you know, we go back to your assets and what have you already got. But I do think, you know, that we've got subsections, you know, like here, where you've got your animated man, because he's doing something different than that is. Me and you know that that's a person pushing a word up a hill, and most people do. But when you get the animated man as well, you know, that could be quite cool, because he could always finish off your ads as you've already incorporated. And I think there may be a few more sections in this, or there might not, but I think, you know, you might have a conclusion or a summary, something that just
like almost like a say like we gave it to a stranger, someone read through that whole thing, how should they feel by the end of it, and what should they think about the brand CAMIA, like what
conclusion or questions and answers. Could be I had a conclusion, maybe how should you feel?
Ignited.
Ignited.
You know, like when you leave someone and they just get you pumped for life. Ignited. Like you should feel ready to go. Like, yeah, let's go. Like whatever you're doing, you could even be going to work, but you're just like, yeah, you know, like ready to take on whatever's in front of you. Ignited.
Yeah, I don't know if there's sort of anything else. And also whether you think anything sort of doubled up.
I can't really think of anything. You covered it all pretty
well. I mean, I think in the old days or whatever, you would have variables of all these. So you'd show that as the main corporate colour. Then you might have either another page or 3 mini versions. So you're showing it large and small. Because the value in a lot of logos is the fact that they have to work small as well as large. Someone says to you, oh, well, you're going to do that conference for us, but we want to give them some beautiful pens. Does your logo work tiny on a pen? And you just go, yeah, of course it does. That was all thought of or whatever. So a lot of the time you will have, you know, variables on a page down here. So you'll have your little dude, you know, pointing, and another one next to him pointing, and you'll be able to see it large and small, and the same with the CAMIA.
Would you have, you know how you kind of made things for me before where you got actual sizing on it? Like, you know, this one's 2 inches, this one's 3 inches.
Yeah, in a lot of brand Bibles, they will actually say minimum size of our logo is. And they'll be very annoyed if anyone does it below that, because they'll already have designed it in a certain way. And then when someone ignores that and goes smaller and then complains that the ink fell in or it didn't print properly on a jersey, you go, we did tell you in our brand Bible what the smallest size was. So I think there's also, good job you said that, because I think there is a good section to have either in this or aside in order to send to printers or material things is a do's and don'ts. And then that'll be stretching the logo, condensing the logo, because you know when you get things in Word and you pull the box and all of a sudden it stretches the logo, well, that's a no-no. That's always been a no-no. But the amount of fakes that you see and things where people don't really know what they're doing and they pull it the wrong way and you know it's a fake because they stretched it. So I'd have a do's and don'ts. Do's? Got an E in it?
No, just do. No, it's just apostrophe.
Dojos.
Yeah. Or we could go with yours, make a new word up.
Do's and don'ts, and that's about the logo. Because I think you'd have two versions of that. You'll probably have print. Well, you probably have online, and you'll probably have.
By print, you mean like
we printed the badges, or if you had a flyer at an event.
Okay. And then would you have like manufacturing as well?
Yeah. So what did I?
That's like
online
design of the t-shirts, you know.
Clothing.
Yeah. Well, I guess clothing and print comes under manufacturing.
And I'll probably put something like point of sale for the sake of it. And maybe, in future, packaging. But you've got a number of subsections within that just to make sure that we don't come a cropper. And you'll add to that as you've got more experience with your clothing, or you'll show examples of blue on blue, one's stitching and one's material, so they always look different, or one's gloss, like you've got your labels at the moment, you've got your lovely black labels and you've got gloss black on there and you've got matte black background, and showing the things that work and the things that don't work. So do's and don'ts I think is a good thing. I quite like your idea of, how should you feel, because I think, that can either come across that or be a subsection up front, like how do you feel, and do these samples sort of show it appropriately. I've got a number of guidelines where I've got nothing to go on apart from the values that the client has given me, and from those values I've decided whether they're a contemporary company, a traditional company, conservative company. And so when I come up with ideas on what the visual language might be, what everything looks like, what their annual report looks like, what their corporate brochure looks like, what the style of photography is, or is it not photography, is it illustration? Because with illustration we can get really creative, whereas with photography it'd be more aspirational or literal. But there's different styles. Has it got a dot structure? Is it 2-color? Is it 4-color? Do the colours overlap but they're slightly out of register? Is it trendy? Do you need glasses to look at it but then it's 3D and comes alive? You've got all these things, and when you deliver them to a client, the best way of doing it is to get them to buy in from the start. If you just show them some ideas all macked up and all looking like the final thing and put onto beautiful bus stops and put on everything without them buying into the idea, you can forget it. And the thing that always used to serve me well was the fact that I would actually scamp everything out. I'd take clients through all the ideas and I would get buy-in. So at no point was it going to go wrong, because I got them to agree to what the mission statement and the values were these values actually, as they did with you, came before any of this stuff. The logo didn't exist, you know, when a lot of these came out and those thoughts came out. So, you know, they either sit together or one goes the other side or whatever. But, and I know that there's literally a short form version of this, for the sake of it, you know, a 4-pager, you know, and we just say, you know, for the sake of it, that's CAMIA, little dude pushing it, and what it stands for. And then on the inside as a spread, you know, you've got the main logo, the short form version of the logo, colours, typefaces, few examples. So you've got stickers, tags, packaging, Instagram ads, and you make a montage or whatever. And then on the background, you know, on the back of it, you know, how does it, you should feel like this, you know, and then maybe a few quotes. Might be nice to have a few quotes from people that have said, oh my God, I love your stuff. Can't wait to get the blue t-shirt, or blah, blah, blah. So I think this is more what you're after at the moment. And well, this...
even that can be made into a not quick, but, you know, like a tiny ring binder, and they're all laminated. Obviously, you know, you gotta.
I mean, it might be 4 sheets, and you know they're just attached.
Yeah.
You know, and that's your quick one. And then for me, you know, is creating a nice little booklet that's a coffee table book that's just yours to keep. And then next time we do it, it's got a load more stuff in, and then you see it going from strength to strength. You know, when I did the clothing for the velodrome, it was really great when someone went to Australia and there was a picture of them in the top that I'd done, and it was them on Bondi Beach. That was the other side of the world. And then someone would send a picture on their bike in the Alps, and I'd go, oh my God, it's now been to France. And then someone else would send me a picture, and then we started to get all this. So you could start to say to some of the people, you know, send me pictures of you wearing the stuff or whatever. And you start to have Polaroids, or you have this thing of these people showing that you never give up. So I think that's your short form one. Something like that could be sheets, or a little A4, or we get an A4 and we fold it to A5, or it's laminated, but
boom.
You know, sheets laminated, or
this is exactly what I was talking about when I said Bible. This is it. Well, now I can go away and like almost populate each of those, you know, individual pages. So
and as you said before, you know, when I'm doing stuff out like this, I would start with something like this, and I'd say, well, that and that are the same thing. Or no, they're not, because are we about aspiration? Do you want a feeling to come across in the pictures, or do you literally, as we do at the moment with the website, where you say blue t-shirt, black t-shirt, white t-shirt? You know, in time, are we saying electric blue, cool black, and fast white, or what? Do you know what I mean? As soon as you start to put a word with it, it just doesn't become just a t-shirt anymore. It has something more meaningful. So I think this tone of voice is part of that sort of section. But if if we try and make the samples not just examples, but try and get the tone of voice in there as well, or we have a para at the beginning that says the whole idea of the visuals is it's a way of life. And you've already said that up there, sportswear brand with real meaning. I mean, I think the thing on this is, whether it's a short form or it's a bigger booklet, it's actually real meaning. And that works at a number of levels, because it's got to have meaning to it in order for people to understand what you should and shouldn't do if you're getting involved in CAMIA. You need to buy into what it's all about. And so everything we produce has to have meaning. It has to have a number of levels of communication to it. And everything has real meaning. Don't just wear the t-shirt. You spent months working out the right material, the wicking, how the logo was printed on there, how the seams work, what the lengths are. Everything is actually, it's real meaning. And then you've got another level, never giving up. You're starting to create these things that you start to own. Real meaning. Associations. Yeah. If I was in a lift with you and I said my brand's CAMIA, it's got real meaning and it's about never giving up. And next time we meet, I'll tell you what the acronym means. Yeah. You go, what is the acronym? Oh, he's got that. I'll go to his website now and check him out, or I'll go to his Instagram. Or
funnily enough, the guy in the post office today, I came in and he goes, I need to buy a CAMIA t-shirt.
Did he?
Yeah. I had it on film as well on my GoPro. I was recording. He goes, oh, you're recording now? I'm like, yeah, I'm posting something for CAMIA. He goes, yeah, man, I want a t-shirt. I was like, go on the website then. But he was quite funny. So I got that. That was quite funny. This is it. This is genius. I just need to go and populate all of these things now and actually get them.
And I think I can do a designer version.
Yeah.
And it'd be quite relatively easy to do a mock-up of this and then work out how we make it a bit better. Because I think with all the best will in the world, you can't do a single A4 sheet unless it's just that, and that.
Yeah.
But then you could have a load of brilliant cards and you could just have them in like a Filofax thing where you go tone of voice, card 3.
Yeah.
Colours, card 2.
Yeah, there's a few
logos
areas.
And variables, card 3.
Let's fucking go. I need a toilet, so let's wrap up there. I also don't know if it's even still recording. Hopefully it is. Maybe I've run out of memory.
It stopped after the first minute.
Right, no, stand there. We're swapping sides now, because remember, I was on this side last time, I was on that side.
Oh yeah? Yeah.
So I can go. Brand Bible, finished. Hopefully it might not.
Well, it's not finished, it's just started.
Started.
And it's exciting.
Yeah. So we've done the brainstorm for the Brand Bible, now we need to create it. Ignited, let's fucking
Ignited,
go.
Let's go.
Champions of Men University, never give up. Hang.
Pop.
Bap. Right.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Right.
Yes, come on.
That's ignited right there.
Come on.
Cheers, Dad. That's why he's a genius. Let's go. Right. Hopefully it's still recording.
Oh, you stubbed your toe last night, Mum said.
Oh, it's still recording. Let's fucking go.
You stubbed your toe?
Let's fucking go. Yeah, I cut my toe big time. Right. In the next this will probably be a two-part video because that was a long brainstorm. In the next segment, we're actually gonna make the Brand Bible, and I'll show you how we're gonna make it. But that's part 1. So you guys. You do know you're as loud as I am when it's on because we've got the mics.
I've got the mic.
Okay, you do know that. Okay. Part 2, we're gonna make the Brand Bible. That's just brainstorming it. See you then.